Imagine this, it's 4:17 a.m. in Washington, D.C. The city is dead silent. Most Americans are asleep dreaming of normal life. But inside a sealed room in the U.S. Capitol, 47 Republican senators, almost the entire leadership of the party, have just signed their names to a single, explosive document. Not a polite memo, not a mild expression of concern, a formal declaration from the heart of the Republican caucus. We will no longer support, defend, or enable the agenda of this president. His actions represent an unacceptable threat to the constitutional order we swore to protect. The man who once terrified the entire party with threats of primary challenges, who turned loyalty into a personal blood oath, suddenly finds himself completely alone. Donald Trump, sitting in the White House, residence dials number after number, no answer, voicemail, ring after ring into the darkness, not one, not five, 47 members of his own party have just walked away. This isn't a rebellion, this is political annihilation. What you're about to hear is the hour-by-hour, minute-by-minute reconstruction of the night the Republican Party finally broke with Donald Trump, the night the monster it created turned on its master. It began with one phone call at 6:03 p.m. It ended at 4 a.m. with 47 signatures that changed American history forever. Buckle up, because once you start, you won't look away. Everything ignited at 5:47 p.m. the previous evening. Donald Trump signed an executive order firing the sitting Attorney General of the United States and replacing him with a loyalist straight out of cable news. No real prosecutorial experience, just years of on-air defense of Trump. The official reason? Loss of confidence. But Washington knew the truth instantly. The Attorney General had refused to shut down a criminal investigation triggered by Judge Callaway's impeachment referral. According to 3 separate sources close to the conversations, he told the president directly, "This probe is constitutionally protected. Interfering would be obstruction of justice." Trump's answer, fire him on the spot. This was the Saturday Night Massacre 2.0. Richard Nixon fired his AG to stop Watergate. Donald Trump just did it to stop his own impeachment. But firing the AG wasn't the end. It was the spark that lit the fuse. 16 minutes later, at 6:03 p.m., the Senate Majority Leader picked up his phone and called the Senate Minority Leader. The call lasted exactly 9 minutes. In those 9 minutes, a man who had spent months walking the tightrope between institutional duty and party loyalty, issuing careful statements, measured criticisms, never crossing the final line, said 4 words that shattered everything. It's time, tonight. Within 30 minutes, both leaders had contacted every Republican committee chair, every senior senator in the caucus. The message was identical, urgent, terrifying in its simplicity. Emergency meeting, Capitol building, 9 p.m., off the record. No staff, no phones, no exceptions from 6 to 9 p.m. The Capitol turned into a shadow world. Senators arrived in unmarked cars, slipping through side entrances and underground tunnels. No briefcases, no folders, no aides trailing behind. Several called their spouses. "Don't wait up, something big is happening tonight." One senator's wife later told a reporter, her voice cracking, "In 23 years of marriage, I've never heard his voice shake like that. He sounded like a man walking into a storm he couldn't avoid." Meanwhile, in the White House residence, Donald Trump was watching cable news, posting on Truth Social about the necessary cleanup of the corrupt Justice Department. He was smiling. He believed he had just executed a masterful power play. the kind of bold, dominant move that defined his brand. He had no clue that the very move he celebrated was the trigger for his party's quiet, irreversible abandonment. While he congratulated himself, more than 50 Republican senators were driving through the darkness to decide whether his presidency would survive the night. By 8:45 p.m., every key Republican had arrived. Capitol Police were told only that an emergency legislative conference was underway, no details. At 9:00 p.m. sharp, the doors closed. Phones went into a lockbox outside the room. Several senators later said that moment, the metallic click of the lockbox, was when it felt real. The most consequential meeting in Republican history since Watergate had begun. The Majority Leader spoke first. 15 minutes. No raised voice, no emotional appeals, just cold, surgical facts delivered like a terminal diagnosis. The trade wars had crushed heartland voters, farms foreclosed, factories shuttered. The impeachment referral from Judge Callaway was rock solid, backed by bipartisan constitutional experts. The president's Civil War rhetoric had forced National Guard deployments in 3 states. Markets had hemorrhaged trillions. The party's approval rating was at its lowest since Watergate. Allies were distancing themselves. And now this AG firing, every scholar in America calling it textbook obstruction. His conclusion hung in the air like smoke. We can keep defending this president and lose our majority, our credibility, our legacy, and possibly the republic itself. Or we can act tonight and start rebuilding. There is no third option in this room. Then came the moment that stunned everyone. He asked for a show of hands. How many of you, in your conscience, believe this president is fit to serve? Fewer than 10 hands rose out of more than 50. The room counted in silence. Every lowered hand belonged to a career politician who had spent years excusing, enabling, and profiting from Donald Trump. Those silent hands spoke louder than any press conference ever could. But unanimity wasn't there yet. A block of 8 to 10 hardcore MAGA loyalists fought back, led by a senior deep red state senator who thundered that abandoning Trump, the man who rebuilt the party, brought millions of voters and flipped blue states, would lose the base forever. The Majority Leader shot back coldly. We've already lost them. Farms foreclosed, factories closing, gas prices crushing families, retirement savings evaporating. They wanted a fighter, not trade wars that hurt them. A first-term senator who rode Trump's coattails, Shahbaham, feared primaries if it failed. He'll destroy us all. A retiring 6th-term senator with nothing to lose replied slowly, if we don't act and the republic falls, being primaried won't be our biggest problem. Silence gripped the room for a full minute. By 11 p.m., leaks hit despite locked phones. The Washington Post reported the emergency conference, but it only accelerated things. 3 fence sitters declared support. At midnight, a senator read Warren Buffett's urgent statement aloud. Firing the AG to obstruct justice isn't political, it's economic. Markets reprice broken rule of law, costing $2.7 trillion in value, 340,000 jobs, and 1.4 points of GDP growth. Pure arithmetic. As a fiduciary, he warned, continued loyalty has no case when it destroys constituents' savings and futures. Defending this has become negligence, and negligence carries consequences. 3 holdouts flipped instantly. The committee drafted the letter. We no longer support, defend, or enable the president's agenda. His obstruction, violence, incitement, and economic destruction threaten the constitutional order. Phrasing surgical, impeachment echoing without saying it, signalling conviction votes. Debate was fierce, but the final text stayed devastating yet measured. By 2 a.m., holdouts were 4. Then the fiercest defender left for 25 minutes, returned at 2:40, signed silently. His wife's call revealed credible school threats to his 12-year-old daughter over his Civil War rhetoric defense. She asked if Daddy caused the hate. That quiet signature turned the night emotionally. By 3 o'clock a.m., 47 of 51 signed an extinction event for Trumpism in the party. At 3:12, Trump got warned, raged with expletives, demanded names for primaries, then called the majority leader. No answer. Others went to voicemail. He dialed into silence. At 3:47, he posted on Truth Social, "Rhino traitors will face wrath. Primary them all." But the threat was empty. You can't primary 47. At 4:04, the letter dropped publicly with 47 signatures from every region, plus personal statements, one citing military oath to Constitution, another grandchildren, an early supporter saying he boarded the train for greatness but got off before the cliff. Networks broke in by 4:15. Republican revolt trended globally. Trump posted 23 furious conspiracies through dawn. At 6:45, he faced the press alone, voice hoarse, hands shaking, called senators traitors and thieves who owed him everything. Without him, they'd sell insurance in strip malls. Markets opened and surged. Dow plus 400, S&P plus 2%, fear index crashed. Wall Street judged ditching Trump good for business. Allies welcomed stability. EU, Canada, Japan. Others signalled re-engagement. Holdouts buckled under pressure. 2 folded by noon. Fox split. Morning hosts screamed betrayal. Afternoon treated it constitutionally. Impeachment math locked in. 47 potential GOP conviction votes plus Democrats exceed 67. House vote possible in 72 hours. Senate trial soon. Signatures already there. It started with, "It's time, tonight." At 6:03 p.m, it ended with 47 signatures at 4 a.m. The fear empire builder watched his party say they're not afraid anymore, and he could do nothing. Will the House impeach? Will 47 convict their own? Can Trump survive after his party called him an existential threat? Or is resignation all that's left? What does post-Trump GOP look like after torching itself to save the country? The story continues. Keep watching.